This is Cybersound, your simplified and fundamentals-focused source for all things cybersecurity, with your hosts, Jason Pufall, Stephen Maresca, and Matt Fusaro.
Welcome to Cybersound. I'm your host, Jason Pufall, joined by Matt Fusaro, Steve Maresca. You're already laughing.
Yep.
It's Halloween. So I think today we're going to talk a little bit about the Halloween kill chain.
Yeah.
Is that where we're at?
The horror kill chain? Halloween kill chain? We'll see where it goes.
So we know that every single kid craves the full-size candy bar. But nobody wants an apple. Nobody wants, I think, a popcorn balls is what that was your least favorite.
That and the darn house up the street. They used to give out the wax lips. I'll never understand it.
And who can forget, black licorice jelly beans?
Yeah, that too.
So from a reconnaissance standpoint, every kid knows who gives out the wax lips, right? They know who to avoid. They also know who might have that prized either supersized candy bar, king size, right, or just a general full-size candy bar. Nobody wants the Three Musketeers mini because we all can agree that Three Musketeers is the worst candy that you can get on Halloween. So reconnaissance, right? Talk to your friends, figure out which houses have the candy that you want, right? So that's your target.
I mean, you could find that stuff on all those parent websites too. What is that, Nextdoor?
Nextdoor for Halloween.
Yeah, so there's another one too. I can't remember the name of it. I'm sure Facebook groups. You'll find out where all the good stuff is. All the moms post on there.
And they're digital natives, these kids, so they probably do turn to Nextdoor and Facebook and figure out who's buying what candy and what do they plan on giving out.
Oh yeah,
because your point is well made. You don't want to be the last one to find out that a house gave full size candy bars, right? You want to be there first. So a little bit of digital surveillance.
And we have to take notes in a distributable form to everybody, so you know which houses to egg afterward.
Mm-hmm. So, egg afterward.
Well, yeah, the one that gives out saltines. They need to be reminded not to do that again.
So that's interesting. So I was thinking you have to get in the house somehow. So I was wondering if a single egg might draw the inhabitants out and make it easier for you to get in, possibly. So do you do that even earlier?
It's true. They usually get pretty angry when you do something like that.
True.
They do come out, run after you, maybe tackle your friend.
All right. So you're going to opt for a little bit more subtle approach initially.
I don't know.
I mean, if I guess if I were really trying to do it, right, it would be great to get in and get out unseen. Maybe even make it so you can get in and get out another time in the future if you're really going to try to be crafty.
Well, if you got a big group with you. Yeah, you have a whole bunch of kids. You can maybe sneak in behind them.
All right, so we know who has the candy bars. The great thing about Halloween is people who ordinarily wouldn't open their doors for strangers are going to open their door for every single stranger, right? So you've definitely simply got...
Or just have their whole garage open.
Whole garage. They might put a whole box of candy right on the doorstep, which when dumped in its entirety into a bag is more than a king-size bar. So that's a target of opportunity as well. But we don't want to. We have an objective, and our objective is the king size. Walk up to your door and you say trick or treat, right? And typically it's going to be confusing, right? The person behind has got a bucket of candy. They're probably getting mobbed by 8 or 10 kids. They really don't know how many kids were at the door. Do you just have one slip inside?
Mm-hmm. It's sweet little Raggedy Ann standing there looking adorable who disarms.
So that is the trick.
Yeah.
If you send that
absolutely.
one in. Right. Probably like 4 years old, 5 years old. Right. Yeah. Small. Probably doesn't have any demons yet.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it could just be a dad wearing makeup and walking on his knees. But if it's Halloween, who knows?
They have to be very specific. They want a very specific color of candy, so they're fishing through the bowl, taking forever.
You need to do that. Take 3 or 4 and make the person say, "Can you put 2 back? You're only supposed to take 2."
Yep.
So you create confusion, and you have a diversion by having a big group of people, and you slip Raggedy Ann through the door, which is a good costume.
And if that doesn't work, I mean, it is Halloween, so you just dress up as the neighbor and make it look comical. But they'll believe you.
So now they know the house, right? We've gotten to the door and we've slipped somebody in. they actually have no idea that we've got this persistent threat embedded.
Yeah, well, you have to hide, right? Because it might take you a little while to find what you're looking for.
I didn't call it an advanced persistent threat, just plain old persistent, because they're in there, they're going to keep trying, but I don't know, they're 4 years old. How advanced, really, right?
Yeah. And I mean, when's the last time you saw an APT use like modern methods to get into places? I mean, it's always the old stuff.
Telnet.
Some basic social engineering, right? That's all. That's all that's happened so far. Mm-hmm. You know the kids know how to do it, so you've got your insider.
I'd say that the kids are probably the most adept at social engineering of anyone.
I would say
they're manipulative, heartless, and ruthless.
Wow,
I got nothing to lose yet.
Well, no, it's just
that's just your kids.
They haven't learned social norms yet, so they're still okay and acceptably, pathological.
They can lose a friend; they'll find a new one.
Right. That is true.
People like us lose a friend. It's probably that's one less friend now.
So the good news is, right? If we're looking, they've studied the habits of the people at the house, and the likelihood is every single time that doorbell rings, it's an interruption from Jeopardy or whatever it is that somebody's watching, and they can't wait to go back to it. They're going straight back to the TV room or the family room, whatever they want to call it, right? So it probably leaves the kitchen reasonably exposed. You got Raggedy Ann now wandering around the house, pretty much carte blanche. They don't know she's in there. She's small, quiet. She gets the candy. Actually, it's not really fair for us to presume that Raggedy Ann was a she. So, Raggedy Ann has now gotten the candy. What do we do? How do we get the candy out?
Well,
because this everybody has to get a piece, right?
She needs a path out, and there's still a door there. She's gotten in, but there's still defenses.
The back door, right?
Well, I mean, how tall is she? Maybe she can't reach the deadlock. What do you do?
True.
So do you send another group back in to knock on that door and exfiltrate her?
Maybe. Or, she's probably trying to find a way out. Got to find the doggy door.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there's...
First-story window.
Yeah.
Or do you just leave her in there?
Nope.
Is that the persistent?
Nope.
Is that just the persistent part?
This is Halloween, so there's got to be a basement hatch. You have to go down into the bowels, deeper into infrastructure.
It's definitely dark down there.
Mm-hmm.
The bulkhead's kind of noisy, though, when you open it.
Right.
So,
it's acoustic effects you expect to hear on Halloween.
That's true. That's just a spooky sound.
Right.
Like a normal spooky sound.
Right. Your neighbor wouldn't know any better.
Right. And they've probably got some ornaments out there that are making noise each time somebody passes by. So they don't, that's fine. That's a good diversion right there. Position one of those ornaments back behind the bulkhead. Let her open it up. So she squeaks her way out.
Mm-hmm.
So now you've got an open bulkhead. Basically, carte blanche. You can go back anytime you want until they figure out that thing is open. And again, they're watching Jeopardy. So you at least have, 8 hours before sunlight? They're probably up at daybreak. But you got a bunch of time to get in and out of that place. World's your oyster at that point. All right, so we got Raggedy Ann. We snuck the person in. Did they steal anything yet, or did they simply get it so that everybody else can get in?
I mean, she's built a map.
Yeah.
There are teams now. People know where to go for the valuables. People know where to go for the candy. The secondary target is now the primary target.
So now, does Raggedy Ann actually tell anybody that there's this ingress and egress?
No.
Or does
No.
she just actually sell the candy?
Exactly.
She sells
she
it.
goes down to the corner.
Or she can tell everyone about it if they give up their bag of candy.
That's the trick. Mm-hmm. Do a twofer.
Yeah.
So, pretty easy exploit. I mean, now that we've talked it out, I mean, I might trick or treat this year. It seems like a no-brainer.
And find the bourbon instead of the candy bar.
That's all what you're going after,
right?
I mean, in parallel, it really is how a normal ransomware attack works, right? I mean, that's the reason this whole kill chain exists.
But how do you ransom the person that owns the home now? Do you tell them, I'll give you your candy back?
It wasn't
money.
It wasn't Raggedy Ann. She was just the breaking and entering, initial salvo. It's Johnny down the street dressed up as Chucky. He'll leave the stink bomb or the flaming bag on the porch. I have to imagine that is the...
You're showing your age with the Chucky reference.
I know.
You are.
Aren't we all Raggedy Ann? Come on now.
Chucky was the worst. When Chucky was hiding under that bed, That was one of the scariest scenes I've ever seen
Oh,
in
yeah.
horror. I did not like that at all. So that's a good point, though. There really was no ransomware. This was an outright theft. Not
Yeah.
a smash and
No.
grab. I think it was gracefully executed.
No, again, the secondary team who got sold entry is now incoming with the threat.
Gotcha. We don't know what that is.
Right.
I mean, that's up to them to be creative. So, threat actor one was able to get entry and then sell access to other people.
Yeah.
That's it. Of course.
So how do we defend against this?
It's tough, right? Because Halloween, you're at your most vulnerable to this attack, for sure. So once a year, I think we're all susceptible.
So you just put the full-size candy bars out there for everybody?
Yeah, I suppose you could do it. I mean, you could, like those
As long
baby,
as some are rice
like
cakes.
the baby gates. You at least can open your door. Somebody can reach
There you
over and
go.
get the candy, but they actually can't kind of slip past you.
A lot of people take the screen door out, or the top screen out.
That's the way to do it, like the old style half door. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's the people who open the door all the way, right? They're the fools. The Ring doorbell, I don't know. I mean, sure, you can see who snuck by later, but it doesn't help you at the time of theft.
It's kind of like
Everybody's dressed up. You can't exactly authenticate people by looking at the Ring doorbell.
That's true. And people are dressing up like Raggedy Ann is benign, so you trust that. It's not like somebody dressed as a spooky ghost, or Jack Skellington, something like that.
everyone knows that's a problem.
No, everybody's keeping an eye on that one. Though everybody's keeping an eye. What you need to do is come to the door actually with like a group of 14 or 15-year-olds, people who you already don't want there because they're on the edge of too old, and that's when you slide Raggedy Ann down below, right? Because they're already disgusted with the people who dress as a bum, right, or a hobo, right? The laziest costumes known to man.
Yep.
So, is there anything left behind? Is there a camera for next year?
I mean, I suggested leaving Raggedy Ann behind, but
Well, I mean, she has to eat. She can't just eat chocolate.
she got a kitchen at her disposal. Do whatever she wants in that place. She can't just live on candy.
Gefilte fish or whatever they have the rest of the year.
I think the only thing we've left behind is permanent scarring and the fear of Halloween for the people who've been infiltrated.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and probably no candy next year.
Probably not.
Yeah, that light will be switched off
Yep.
the following year.
Oh well. Probably not a great idea to do this, huh?
I know. Now I feel bad
Yeah.
for the people. So the discussion here really is intended to talk about the kill chain a bit. And it's 7 steps. We did some reconnaissance and delivery. We installed our threat. We got, what do they call it? The intruder there, the hands-on keyboard, somebody who's actually your actor inside. Weaponization, exploitation, and Steve, you were trying to figure out that command and control piece, right? The persistence aspect. Kind of fun to apply it to Halloween, but it is the way we see attacks occur. Cyber attacks. We'll be more specific. I think on that, happy Halloween, everybody. And put up your baby gate. I think it's clear enough that you want to protect your house.
Yeah, and protect those full-size candy bars.
We hope you enjoyed the episode. Happy Halloween, everybody.
We'd love to hear your feedback. Feel free to get in touch at Vancord on LinkedIn or on Twitter at Vancord Security. And remember, stay vigilant, stay resilient. This has been Cybersound.